It's Saturday morning, and I just got back from a nice walk through the park that is close by my house. And it was really nice. It was quiet. It's Saturday morning. Most people are still asleep, and the air was fresh. And I saw rabbits, and I saw a goat. They have a little mini zoo there, so that was really nice. And so as I was walking, I was wondering what I want to talk about and what I want to share with you today. And Saturdays are usually a time when I sort of look back on the week and reflect and look and just think about what happened and maybe make improvements or decide what to keep. And this one thing keeps on coming up in my mind. I think it's very inspiring, and this came from. Let me just make sure light is good. This came from BJ Fogg from the video, uh, where he describes what he calls tiny habits, and it's a fantastic video, and I've linked to it in the past. There's one slide or one part in that presentation that he gives where he points out that um, that behavior that the outcomes that we want, right? So are always in direct relationship to the behaviors that we do in order to support these outcomes. So just to make it concrete, I think in my world I have sort of three areas of outcomes, that is health, wealth, and relationships. That's sort of the top level of the three things that I think are important for me to be a happy, fulfilled, successful person. And so, what is an outcome? Let's say for health, right? Health has I want to I want for me to be healthy. I want to be fit. So fitness is an outcome or a result of or a part of being healthy. I also want to become stronger, like physically stronger and mentally stronger. And the third part of health is being at ease. I think that's a really important one for me because I get anxious sometimes, and I've struggled with depression as well. So being at ease, being relaxed, being free of worry is a big one for me for health. Um, let's talk about relationships, right? There's another big part in my life. The outcomes is that I have a deep connection with my family. I have meaningful relationships with my friends, and of course intimacy with a significant other and a person, my own family. So these are outcomes or goals for my relationship goals. Then wealth is super important. I want a goal or an outcome that I want in my wealth being, is steady revenue, steady savings, and continuous investments. So it's not as complicated or as complex as maybe health and relationships, but these are the goals that I want in my wealth category, so to speak. And I want to show you this little map I drew. This is a model actually from BJ Fogg from his lecture, where he's saying in order to get these desired outcomes, you need to have continuous behaviors that support that outcome. And that's been a mind blow for me because he basically says forget motivation. Motivation will not get you here, and will not get you here, and will not get you here. What does get you here are either two things that you can do. It's either you change your environment, so you quit your job, you get a new job, you stop eating meat, or whatever, like really drastic measures that are irreversible. So even eating meat is very hard to not reverse. And the other way is to build habits, strong, healthy habits, and that's what these tiny habits are all about. It's saying in order to get here, you have to almost create a portfolio of many small healthy habits that support the goal, the desired goal. And he doesn't break it out into health, wealth, and relationships. I just did this over the weekend or over this week, and I'm realizing that, yeah, that's exactly what I sort of never did. I never tended to I see it more as a garden. I never really tended to a garden of these positive behaviors. I've always been very sort of emotionally driven, very impulsive. I start things, I stop things very easily, and it thrills me. I have to admit, it's really thrilling, and so it. I have, however, I did this recently. I did like sort of a scoring for myself on these categories. I was like, how am I actually doing on health and wealth and relationships? And let me put it this way: I still have room to improve on all these areas, and I realized that my sort of impulsive behavior isn't gonna get me there, and instead consistency. I think consistency for me specifically, as someone who's relatively inconsistent, is the path to get to all these outcomes: being fit, being intimate, being successful. Like, these are my desired outcomes, and I've tried many things that didn't get me there. And I think I'm realizing that it's actually these small, incremental, everyday activities that I want to do, and I want to learn how to do. And so, just I mentioned that in another video. So I've started over a month ago with these tiny habits, as BJ Fogg calls them. This is, I've been meditating daily. I've been reading and taking notes, basically studying every day. So meditation is obviously a health activity. Reading and taking notes is a wealth category, because I'm reading business books and I'm taking notes and I'm learning, I'm studying them. And then I'm also exercising every day now. I'm small, but that's obviously also a health category. And these videos that I've been starting to make, including this one, is also part in my wealth category, because I realized that I need to share more with you. I've learned a lot of stuff. I've made many mistakes, and including this, right? And I want to learn how to share more and this is not just for money, but this is more about creating wealth, hoping that you don't have to do the same mistakes that I do. So maybe next time, in the next video, I'll talk a little bit about how I approach these tiny habits. I don't want to make this too long today, but I just wanted to share with you this sort of revelation for myself, that if I want this, or if I want this, and if I want this, then I have to create this supporting, continuous array of behaviors. And in a way, I want to look at it as like a garden, and it's like an orchard of many different small plants that all together make up the orchard and the overall growth. And I started with a few behaviors, as I mentioned: meditate daily, start small, a few minutes a day, exercise daily, small. Here in wealth, start sharing with people. I've been doing deep work, which is another thing, but starting really small and making sure that these little seedlings actually take hold. So I'm thinking in terms of years here, right? That's another thing. So instead of immediate gratification, from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, this is the opposite. This is the marathon approach of saying, I'm going to do one video a day, and it's going to be short, but every day. I'm going to exercise a few simple exercises. I'm going to jump rope, and I'm going to do push-ups every day, a few, but I'm going to do them every day. And the same with meditation. I'm going to stretch a little bit, and I'm going to sit for a few minutes. Not crazy amounts, not hours of sitting, just a few minutes, but I'm going to do it every day. So I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope it gets you thinking about what does your garden look like? What little plants have you been tending to that have grown into larger plants? And where are empty plots and empty spots in your orchard, in your personal orchard of behaviors? So yeah, thanks so much for watching and have a great weekend.